All right, let's take a look at 4 essential footwork drills. And when I say essential, I mean the foundation. These are must-know, must-have drills. This is where you're going to lay the groundwork for everything that's to come. One thing that people don't really understand is that you box with your feet. Footwork should be primary. It's going to allow you to be defensively effective and sound, and as well as setting up a good offense. You have to have good, fundamental, sound footwork. So, how do we start? We start with the box step. So in your boxing stance, I'm going to take 1 step forward, pushing off my back foot. Then I'm going to step to the side, 1 step. And again, when I take that step, I'm back in my boxing stance. Push off my front foot, go to the rear, and then I go back to where I started. I just made a box. That's it. It's a very simple drill, but there's a lot that goes into it because I need to make sure that I'm pushing off the correct foot. When I step forward, I push off my back foot. Take that step. When I go to the side, I'm going to push off my front foot. When I move back, now I push off my front foot again, push. And I'm moving to my lead hand side, I push off my rear foot. So when I'm facing the camera, push off my back foot, push off my front foot, push off my front foot, push off my back foot. I'm always in balance. What am I not doing? I'm not crossing my feet. You'll see this, especially in beginners. Everybody's crossing their feet. They're stepping like this. You're going to see them wandering around, doing this footwork, crossing over. And when you cross over, when you cross your feet, you're out of balance. What does that mean? I can't set up good offense, and I can't set up good defense. I'm going to be out of position. The only thing I can do is try and capture my balance. So you have to understand, the basic box step is where it starts. I can go clockwise, forward, to the right, to the rear, to the left. I'm always in my stance. My feet are always the same, or I can reverse it. This is something that we do in our gym before every class. The basic box step. It's the foundation. One thing that you're also going to notice is if you listen, you don't hear anything. I'm not dragging my feet. All right? Good footwork is clean. You're not going to hear a lot of feet sliding along the floor. I don't want that. Don't let your feet slide along the floor. Pick your feet up. Forward, side, to the rear, back to the beginning. Good footwork, not crossing your feet, in balance. That is the basic box step. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to understand the geometry of the box. What is the ring? It's a box. Any room? It's a box. Once you understand the fundamental building blocks, you're going to be able to delve deeper into the science of boxing. So now that you have the basic box step, let's do the double box step. I'm going to take 2 steps forward. 1, 2. If you notice, same distance between my feet, same stance, in balance. I move to the side twice. Push, push. Move to the rear. Push, push. Double box step. Just doubling it up. Taking 2 steps, pushing off the correct foot. Push, push. Same stance. Same hand position. In balance. All the time. You'd be surprised at how many people have a difficult time doing the double box step. I've got competitors, guys who've been doing this for years, and we do these drills and they still make mistakes. All right? Fundamentals aren't easy. They're fundamental. They're the building blocks. You need to practice them daily. Box step, then double box step. Go clockwise, go counterclockwise. Again, making sure you're pushing off the correct foot. Think of it like rear wheel drive. If I'm going forward, I'm pushing off my back foot. If I go backwards, I'm pushing off my front foot. If I go to my right, I'm pushing off my left foot. If I go to my left, I'm pushing off my right foot. All right? Whatever way you need to conceptualize that, to visualize that in your mind. All right? Double box step. Now that you have the box step and the double box step, we move on to pivoting. I'm going to create angles. I'm going to turn 90 degrees, clockwise. Since I'm a right-handed fighter, that means I'm going to move my body to my left. So from that stance, when I pivot clockwise, I'm going to push off my back foot, and I'm going to turn on the ball of my foot. Turn on the ball of my foot, boom. And I land in my stance in balance. Again, I push off my back foot, land in my stance in balance. If you look at it from this angle, in my stance, in balance. My back foot isn't swinging too far this way, too far behind me. I'm not too square. Again, when I pivot, that 90-degree pivot, boom, my weight is on my back foot. I'm in a good balanced position in my stance. All right? Pivot clockwise. Pivot clockwise. That's all you're doing. Pushing off your back foot, pivoting on the ball of your foot, boom, landing in your stance, in balance, ready to be offensive, ready to be defensive, ready for anything that comes at you. Clockwise pivot. Once you have that, you're ready for the final one, which is what? Pivot counterclockwise. I'm just going the other way. That's it. So now we're going to push off on the ball of we're going to pivot on the ball of our foot, but we're going to turn the opposite direction. So I have to push off on this foot and turn to my rear hand side, right? Many people have a difficult time with this because it's moving to your rear hand side. Push off the back foot, pivot on the ball of your front foot, and land in your boxing stance. When I'm here, I pivot and I land in my boxing stance. Good balanced position, ready for offense, ready for defense, ready for whatever comes at me. I'm here, I pivot clockwise, I pivot counterclockwise. All right, I pivot clockwise, come back counterclockwise. Now you have the 4 essential elements of footwork. The box step, double box step, pivot clockwise, pivot counterclockwise. So let's put it all together. How do you do that? Go back to the box step. Out of that box step, when I hit the corners, I can pivot clockwise, come back counterclockwise. Boom. Counter, clockwise. Boom. Whatever way you want to do this, you can add this in until it becomes second nature. Right? Once you have the box step, now hit the double box step. 1, 2, pivot, pivot, 1, 2, pivot, pivot, 1, 2, pivot, pivot. Put this into your daily practice. Go 4 to 6 rounds, and I guarantee your footwork is going to see a great improvement, and that's going to have a wonderful impact on your boxing game.